Hey, rock stars, if your fab shop's overwhelmed or your supplier's missing deadlines, that's not just frustrating, it's costing you real money. That's why you call HyperFab. Based in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada, and trusted across North America, they deliver custom metal fabrication for industries where precision and speed matter most. Construction, oil and gas, manufacturing, and agriculture. From fiber laser cutting and CNC bending to welding, assembly, and finishing, they do it all in-house with fast turnarounds, tight tolerances, and no handoffs. One prototype, full production, no problem. HyperFab shows up when others can't and delivers when others don't. Head to www.hyperfab.com or call Colin Harms at 1-403-308-3308. Fabrication without compromise. That's the HyperFab edge. Welcome to episode 274 of the Business Development Podcast. And today we're joined by Dr. Juan Salinas, visionary food scientist, natural bodybuilder, and the founder of P-nuff Crunch, the plant-based protein snack that took Shark Tank by storm and landed a deal with Mark Cuban himself. From humble beginnings in Honduras to reshaping the way that we think about health, grit, and entrepreneurship, Dr. Salinas' story is nothing short of incredible. Stick with us. You don't want to miss this episode.
The great Mark Cuban once said, "Business happens over years and years. Value is measured in the total upside of a business relationship, not by how much you squeezed out in any one deal." And we couldn't agree more. This is the Business Development Podcast, based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and broadcasting to the world. You'll get expert business development advice, tips, and experiences, and you'll hear interviews with business owners, CEOs, and business development reps. You'll get actionable advice on how to grow business. Brought to you by Capital Business Development, capitalbd.ca. Let's do it. Welcome to the Business Development Podcast. And now your expert host, Kelly Kennedy.
Hello, welcome to episode 274 of the Business Development Podcast. And today it is my absolute pleasure to bring you Dr. Juan Salinas. Dr. Salinas is a visionary food scientist, entrepreneur, and the mastermind behind Perfect Life Nutrition, Inc., the company responsible for the creation of P-nuff Crunch, a game-changing plant-based protein snack. With over 20 years of experience working as an innovator for major CPG companies like Nestlé and Kraft Foods, Dr. Salinas combined his deep expertise in food science with his passion for health and fitness to revolutionize the snack industry. A native of Honduras and now based in New Jersey, he holds a PhD in food science from Rutgers University and boasts qualifications in sports nutrition from the International Olympic Committee. His mission is clear: to deliver snacks that don't just taste great, but also fuel active, healthy lifestyles. Dr. Salinas made waves on Shark Tank, where he secured an investment from Mark Cuban, propelling P-nuff Crunch into the national spotlight. Driven by his commitment to creating nutritious, all-natural snacks, he is on a relentless quest to challenge the norms of the food industry and inspire healthier choices for everyone. Whether leading product innovations worth millions or sharing his expertise as a natural bodybuilder and endurance athlete, Dr. Salinas is determined to change how we snack, one delicious, protein-packed bite at a time. Dr. Salinas, it is an honor to have you on the show.
Oh, man, Kelly, man. Well, I'm hearing everything you said. I'm like, holy crap, man. Now you're making me feel really old. I much rather hear like a very short introduction to that. But my grades are here already, so I can't fool anyone anymore.
You and me both. Mine came in at like 30, so you're doing pretty all right.
Well, you still got some lag in there, man. I'm white. Yeah, this is it.
It is an honor to meet you and a pleasure to have you on the show. I was interviewing Q Harrison Terry a while ago. We were chatting all about the metaverse because he's my tech master. And he goes,
yeah.
Kelly, you have to meet Dr. Juan Salinas. And such, we got introduced and did some digging. Hadn't really seen that episode, so I was just behind. And when I saw the P-nuff Crunch episode, I was like, wow, I cannot wait to chat with you about your journey, because it was super unbelievable. That episode is super cool. And I could just see the emotion on your face. Like, what a whirlwind that must have been. Not to mention the whirlwind that comes after. But before we go down that journey, take me back to the beginning. How did you end up on this path?
Yeah. Well, you probably heard it from the Shark Tank episode. I'm native from Honduras. So I grew up in Honduras and went to school there. I came to the US when I was 18 years old, much to the efforts of my parents. They promised me that they wanted to give me the best education possible, and they came through, man. So they sent me here to the United States. Why New Jersey? I don't know. But it was a little bit of a shocker for me when I first got into Newark Airport. And now I live probably about 10 miles from Newark, and I love it.
Yeah.
Man. I absolutely love it. But that was the start of how everything, my new life here in the United States. I gotta say, my English was really bad. So when I landed, I was clueless as to what the signs were saying. I couldn't even ask you how to find the bathroom. So that was my level of English, maybe dog and cat. I could probably say that. But that was it. So I was terrified. But I had an aunt who lived here, so she kind of picked me up at the airport and brought me to her place. And a few weeks later, I was at Rutgers getting enrolled into the English as a second language. That was my first class that I took here in the US. And it was amazing, man, because you get to basically learn English without a translator, which I always thought, when I think back on it, it's like, I had classmates from Jordan, from Italy, from all over the world. And there's one teacher speaking to us in English, and yet we're all learning how to speak English. Isn't that crazy?
It's super crazy.
So yeah, man, that eventually led me into my career, which is I'm a food scientist. I went to Rutgers University. I got a PhD from there. And then after that, I decided that I didn't want to back home. I didn't want to go back.
Yeah.
I felt that the opportunities here in the US were great. And I always go back to the American dream, and everybody talks about it. And I'm like, man, what is the American dream? This is the American dream. The American dream was even just coming into the US and learning from a top school at Rutgers. So I was already living the American dream, and I just wanted to make the best out of it. So I decided to stay here in the US and try to get a job. I landed in Nabisco. That's my first job. It was funny because I was doing a lot of work with potatoes when I was in grad school, and it was just something that fell on my lap. I was looking for funding, and there was a company that wanted to do research in potatoes, and I said, I'll do it for my school. I'll do anything.
Absolutely.
But crazy enough, that experience that I had with potatoes is what landed my first job at Nabisco, because they were trying to develop a potato crisp, almost like a potato chip baked, like a cracker. And when they learned that I had this background, they immediately hired me. So I used to get fun. I used to make fun of by all my friends. What are you gonna do with this potato degree that you have? And now here I am, hanging out with the Nabisco and making cookies and crackers and Oreos and all that stuff. So that was the beginning of it all, man. That's how it all started.
Wow. Like, why the passion for food, though? Like, where did that come from? Why food science?
Yeah, it's a good question, man, because all my families are engineers. And I don't know if it's the same with other cultures, but in the Latin culture, you almost end up doing what your dad does.
Yeah.
So all my brothers and sisters, everybody went for engineer, including myself. My dad was a civil engineer. I started as a student in engineer as well, but I didn't like it at all, man. I was just like, I didn't like the curriculum. So I went to the career services at my school, and I went for advice. It's okay, I don't like engineering. I want to change my degree, and what can I do? And this lady just like basically pulled out a thick book like this big, and she's like, here you go. It's like, this is all the different majors that you can graduate from.
Yeah.
So it's like, take a look at it and see which one you like.
Yeah.
I swear to God, that's exactly what happened. I started flipping through the pages, and I eventually found like food science, and just the name food, like, kind of caught my attention. I didn't even know it existed. And then I read a description of it and how you combine science with engineering and physics and chemistry. And I was like, well, okay, man, that's what I want to do. So I felt like it was just in me already. I've never been into like cooking. I'm not a big time cooker or anything like that, but it just felt like it was something that combined all these sciences, which I love, into something tangible that you can eat. Basically.
Yeah.
So that was how it all started.
Amazing. You're my very first food scientist. So I'm excited. Our audience has not been introduced to even what this is. So would you mind telling us what a food scientist is and does?
Yeah. Well, there are people who watch Chevy Chase, right? Like Christmas Vacation.
We love Chevy Chase in Canada.
I think he's a food scientist there. I think it's the only food scientist that I remember a movie. No, it's pretty cool, man. So everything that you see on the shelf in a supermarket, there's a food scientist who have created that product. And basically what we're doing separately, differently from what a chef does, is that we create recipes just like a chef will do, but then we actually make him shelf stable. So rather than just using regular ingredients, we try to figure it out, okay, can we add something else that will make it last longer, or give it a different color, or make it taste a little different over time. We want to make sure the products that are on the shelf are not only safe from a microbiology point of view, but also that they will taste good even after 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
So that's what a food scientist does. Yeah.
My gosh, and it's funny too, because you're a bodybuilder, a natural bodybuilder, ripped as shit, by the way. Watch the Shark Tank video. It's incredible. We will definitely link that to this show. But walk me through it, because I would think as a bodybuilder, you're probably not eating a lot of the food stable creations that are being made by Kraft and Nestle and the best chocolatiers of the world, right? Walk me through. Was that like a bit of a challenge for you to like put your head together, where on one side you're building unhealthy snacks, but on the other side you're trying to be as healthy as humanly possible?
yeah. And that was it. I mean, seriously, that was exactly what made me jump into what I do today. But you're right. I was just starting my bodybuilding thing. To be honest, man, I was doing more like a workout. I really enjoy working out.
Yeah.
I really enjoy going to the gym. And the first time I went to the gym, like I saw like my bicep, like I saw a little like vein. I was like, oh, like, what? So I got hooked. After that, I was like, man, I'm gonna continue doing this.
Yeah.
And eventually, I was like, man, I'm going to the gym all the time. I was like, I got to do something with this. So I was like, yeah, let me just see if I can enter one of those shows, bodybuilding shows. And I did, and I came in first. And so it was like, wait a minute. It's like, I felt like Arnold. Shit, I think Arnold started that way, you know? Yeah. I'm like, maybe I have the genetics to be a good bodybuilder. Later on, I found out I don't. That dream got shattered. So I had to do something different. But no, man, I really enjoy it. I started doing bodybuilding shows maybe about 10 years, maybe 12, 13 years ago. And all natural, never really got into the drug thing. And I just wanted to see how far I could take it just naturally. But to do that, I needed to learn more about nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of the thing that, the food science, the background that I had, plus my interest in the whole bodybuilding, and kind of led me into this, how can I make better products?
Yeah. And
like you mentioned, man, I was working with Oreos, you know what I'm saying? I was making Oreos, I was making Chips Ahoy, man. I was like, so obviously I was like, so yeah, there was a joke because we have to do a lot of sensory tasting, right?
Yeah.
So like every time you create something, just like a chef, you got to try it, make sure it tastes good. So we're creating all this, I'm creating all these cookies and crackers, man. And I'm like, I gotta trace them, obviously. But what I will do is like, I will just put it in my mouth and basically hit it, but I wouldn't swallow. I would just spit it out into a cup.
Yeah.
So every time we did this on group meetings, people will just look at me like weird. It's like everybody's eating the cookie, and I'm like, this guy's spitting it out. It's like,
it tastes great.
Is something wrong? Is there something wrong with this stuff? Like, does it taste that bad?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. It's just like I'm just crazy. It's a diet thing. Don't worry about it.
My God.
But yeah, man, that's exactly what led me to start my own company. Yeah. Because I felt like, man, we're making all these snacks, and everything that we care about is that they taste good.
Yeah.
And it's there's more than just taste. Like can't just give you a bunch of salt or a bunch of sugar. Of course, it's gonna taste good, but it's not gonna be good for you. And that was my aha moment. And I was like, I gotta create something that not only tastes good, but also has the better nutrition. It's got the protein, lower sugar, and
Yeah.
everything else that our body requires to perform its best. And so that's how I started in this brand, P-nuff Crunch.
That's so cool. And you know what? I think like you're so unique in that way, right? Somebody who's a food scientist, but also a professional nutritionist at the same time. That's such a unique set of skills.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of come to they're separate, but the nutrition piece I learned more about afterwards during when I used to work for Nestle.
Yeah.
And I was working for the performance division, which is basically Power Bar brand. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Very familiar.
Again, I'm showing my age. A lot of the kids today are like, what? Power Bar? What are you talking about? But yeah, man, this. We were working with athletes and we're working with a bunch of athletes that wanted to perform better, and like we're creating snacks and foods that they could improve their performance.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I got more into the nutrition piece and more into the sports nutrition and how these things actually affect your body, especially if you're an active person. Every nutrient that you take actually will have an effect on your performance. And with some of the athletes that we're working with, where 1 second improvement makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Nutrition is a big part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. One of the questions that I kind of had, like you're also my first nutritionist as well. So I want to spend a little bit of time with you on this. Obviously, in Canada, in the United States, around the world, obesity is a serious, serious problem. And it's not getting better. It's getting worse. And I feel like you can look at food pyramids, you can look at whatever you want. It kind of feels like none of the information is great information. In your opinion, like you've been in this industry for the better part of 25 years. You know what you're doing on all fronts. You've invented healthy snacks. You've helped create snacks. You understand sports nutrition. You understand performance nutrition. Let's help my amazing entrepreneurs out here in the world today, because we're all struggling with our weight and how the heck do we control this thing? How much exercise do we need? All these things. Do you mind just like running us through, as somebody who's been in it a long time, you've seen it, you've seen the industry. What should we be doing to get healthy again?
Yeah, man. One of the things that, and I read a lot about the obesity and some of the causes, especially in young people, because the reality is if you are a young kid with obesity, then the likelihood of becoming an adult obese are very high.
Yeah.
And this just statistically, and all the studies have demonstrated that. So everything starts when you're a baby, in a way. They're tracking down all the way to what kind of foods the mom is eating when you're in the womb.
Wow.
Even down to that level, because you start creating certain addictions in a way, in food addictions. So if you're consuming a lot of sugar or a lot of salt, the baby starts to get used to these kind of foods. So when they are born and then they start growing up, just they start creating these things. And so as we know, the excess of sugar, excess of fat, and excess of food in general, obviously is going to lead into weight gain. So I think a lot of it has to do with that education to the parent at all levels, from the beginning to when they're young. What kind of diet should you give your kids? Should we just let them run away with eat sodas and candies all day long? Or should it really teach them how to eat fresh fruits and lower calorie foods and still be satisfied and happy? So I think everything starts from there. As we get older now, we have all these habits that are going to be harder to get rid of. And like I said, I think there's just mentally, we're just wired to want certain foods. And I think this comes all the way down from when you were a little kid, right?
Yeah.
Where you were fed.
Yeah.
So we could do things now that we're older. I'm not saying this is a lost cause, right? We know we have so much information now about the kind of things that we should avoid, right? High sugar, a lot of refined sugars. Unless you're an athlete, you shouldn't be having all this bunch of sugar and sugar products, like even protein. Some of these protein bars today are just loaded with so much sugar that I think is not necessary unless you are an athlete. And the same thing with fat. We have an obsession with fried foods in this country, which there's a lot more calories on a gram of fat than there is on a gram of protein or carbohydrate. So when we fry in something, we're increasing the amount of calories just by the fact that it's fried.
Wow.
Even though you're still having the same amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's just a whole bunch of different things that we know now today that we should be avoiding or reducing it so that we don't excess eat or increase the calorie amounts that we're consuming on a plate, which will lead to weight gain and eventually obesity.
I really appreciate that because it is really challenging to understand, right? Like, I think it's like, obviously we know that eating chicken fingers and McDonald's probably isn't the greatest thing for us, right? But I think it's really hard for us to like quantify how bad it actually is for us because there's like no measure to understand how a Big Mac relates to a chicken breast, right? Like it's very hard for us to like understand why I can't just eat endless Big Macs or be as healthy as if I eat endless chicken breast, right? Like it's like you can look at two things and be like, well, I want the Big Mac. But yeah, like I agree. I think we do. Like we need this like massive shift of like understanding as to why a Big Mac is not equivalent to a chicken breast, right? I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard. It's tough. It's tough.
You know, man, I feel like this is what I've done personally. I don't know if this is right even or not, but somehow, man, I train my brain to do certain things. Like I train my brain just from my knowledge of knowing that a Big Mac is not good for me.
Yeah.
I sort of train it to say it's not good, it doesn't taste good. So if I go to a restaurant and someone wants to go to McDonald's, I'll have something else, something that's more healthy for me, like you say, a grilled chicken or something.
Yeah,
I have the grilled chicken sandwich in the way. Well, you don't like hamburgers? It's like, yeah, I do, but
yeah,
I don't.
yeah, no, that's awesome. It's like,
and at the end, I'm satisfied, man. It's not like I'm just satisfied. I'm happy. I'm satisfied.
Well, that's it, right? Like we get satisfied no matter what we eat, but it's that like split moment. It's that moment of choice, right? Yeah. That's the moment where we make the shitty choices, right? Yeah, we would be just as satisfied with the grilled chicken as we would with the Big Mac. But in that moment, our brain is like, dude, get the Big Mac.
Look, another thing too, man, I think is we tend to wait. We tend to wait a lot for the meal. Like we say, oh, there's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? So it's like, I'm waiting for dinner, but I'm hungry, but I'm waiting for dinner. By the time you get to dinner, man, it's like you don't care. You're so hungry that you're gonna eat whatever's there.
Yeah, yes.
So that's another thing. Like I created this fitness plan that I use for bodybuilding preparation. Yeah. And I just made it available. It's on my website for everyone to see and follow. But what I recommend there, if you can, eat 5 times to 6 times a day.
Wow.
So have smaller meals throughout the day. So you'll never get to a point where just like craving anything. And you almost train your brain to prepare yourself for every meal. Because you know that every 3 hours, you got to have something. And so you have something there that you know is better for you. And you don't abuse it. So I think that's worked for me a lot too. It takes a little more preparation because you have to eat 5 times a day. Yeah. But once you get into the routine, it's really easy.
Okay. You know? Okay. Take me into drinks. Take me into drinks, Dr. Salinas, because
alcoholic drinks?
All drinks. Juice, water, right? Whatever. Yeah. Take your pick. How do those impact our day-to-day health? Are they a bigger contributor or kind of on the same level as the food we eat?
Like, are we talking alcoholic drinks versus non-alcoholic?
Sure. Let's talk alcohol. Let's talk juice. Let's talk pop. Where do those fit in with regards to our health?
Listen, man, if you have to drink, I always tell people, but if you want to drink, it's like because people ask me, even when I'm in preparation for like competitions, like, you drink? It's like, yeah, man, I have a few drinks in there. It's like, but what do you drink? I said, well, I'll just drink vodka. I'll drink vodka with club soda. It's like, vodka's not as bad as whatever we join it with. Like if you were going to put fruit juice or some other sweet stuff, then you make it really bad. So I'll just say, stick to the alcohol, get your buzz, and then go to sleep.
Wow.
But you know, the reality is alcoholic drinks, man, they do have calories. Yeah. There's 7 calories per gram. So protein and carbs are 4, fat is 9, alcohol is 7. So it's sort of like in between there. So, So there is calories involved with drinking if it has alcohol. In terms of just regular soft drinks and things like that, we know that anything that is loaded. So I'll tell you a story, right? Everything that's loaded with sugar we know it's bad. But I'll tell you a story because I don't know if you ever actually seen the amount of sugar, like crystallized sugar, that goes into 1 can of regular.
I've never
Coke.
seen it. Never seen it.
So I used to work for Pepsi too. I did an internship with them. And to be honest, man, before then, I knew sugary sodas were not so great for you, but at the same time, if you're thirsty, you'll just grab one, whatever. Until I got to the lab and they gave me a recipe and I said, hey, make these batches for us. These are they were trying different flavors on, I think it was 7-Up. And we're like, all right, cool. And it's like, okay, it was sugar, water, and flavor. That was it. I was like, okay, that's pretty easy. So I was like, I'm measuring the sugar. This is crystallized white sugar.
Yeah.
I'm measuring it. I'm like, and the scale is giving me a number. I'm like, wait, I'm not there yet. I'm like, oh crap. I swear to God, bro.
That was all it took.
it was almost the volume of the can of soda.
Wow.
That's how much sugar there was in there. I was like, no, there's gotta be something wrong, right?
Yeah.
I went to the supervisor. I was like, are you sure this is right? It's like, yes. It's like once you put the water, it will dissolve. And so it doesn't occupy that much volume anymore. But I was like, there's no way you're putting that much sugar in it. And that's the kind of sugar amount that we're taking when we're drinking a can of soda. And it just, if you do that test, try to do it at home. You know what I mean? And you'll see.
Yeah.
And that'll stick to your head. And you'll be like, oh man, you will see, dude. You will see.
Oh my God, dude. I'm going to be honest. I've struggled with my weight up and down my entire life. When I was a kid, I was thin, was skinny, got fat as a kid, got skinny as a teenager, and I've been packing on the weight probably from 20 to 35 back on again, right? And it's just been something that my entire life I've struggled with. And I get that for me, it's a battle with my taste buds. It's a battle with it's like I know better, but I want my thing, right? But the older I get, the more I realize, get your shit together, Kelly. It's time, right? But when I was thinking about what you were saying here with regards to it's a mindset thing. Because when I was younger, I smoked because I was an idiot. So I smoked cigarettes, right? I quit smoking when I was 25, but I quit smoking using Alan Carr's easy way quit smoking method. Nothing else worked. Not the nicotine patches, not the shots, not whatever else. What I needed was to change my mindset. And that helped me quit smoking. Like you said, I made smoking in my brain feel disgusting, feel different. It changed my entire mindset around it. And I think that's probably also the way that we have to change our mindset around food, because it's an addiction, just like smoking.
I agree, man. I agree. I don't know this method that you're talking about, but it sounds like it changes your perspective about how you see the product that you're consuming.
Yeah.
And if you know that it's toxic, well, you want to put something toxic in your body. And eventually, your brain starts to realize that. It takes a little bit because we have our moments of weakness and stuff, but especially with food, I truly feel that sugar and there's other compounds that are put into food that really are addictive.
Yeah.
And they cause physical and chemical, it's a chemical addiction. So you have to probably think about it the same way as you were talking about with a cigarette and smoking. It's very similar.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I think that's the problem is we're always looking for the easy fix, right? It's like we want to put the patch on and quit smoking, or we want to be able to just not want Big Macs or whatever it is, right? The chemical fix, right? I think right now everyone's taking Ozempic. That's the new big thing. We'll take this shot and then we don't have to eat as much, right? But the problem isn't eating or the amount we're eating, it's what we're eating. There's a lot of things you can eat a lot of if that's your thing that are not going to make you fat. But our cravings are for these things that make us super sick. And then on top of that, they're available everywhere. You can't go anywhere and not buy something that's horrible for you but tastes amazing. Right?
Oh man. Dude, it's people ask me all the time, it's how do you stay in shape? How do you stay in shape? It's you got to make sacrifices. You can't indulge in everything and just pretend that everything's going to be all right and you're going to have a six pack.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I know Ozempic, man, it works, dude. It works. But I tell you, man, because I know people and I like to observe because I wanted to know what's going on with Ozempic. Is that really the miracle thing for weight loss and all this stuff? And the reality is that people do lose weight. But I go back to what kind of weight is that you're losing?
Yeah.
And what I'm observing is that people just don't get hungry anymore. And your body needs to be sustained by food, especially your muscles.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're not feeding your muscle, eventually you're just going to start to degrade, like disappear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're losing weight, but it's not the right weight that you're losing. You're losing a lot of muscle with a little bit of fat. And at the end of the day, you're going to end up being like a skinny fat. I call them skinny fat.
Yeah.
No? You still have a larger amount of fat in relation to your muscle.
Yeah.
Which is not a good look.
Yeah.
You know? Personally, I don't think it is.
Like talking to you, I've talked to a lot of people who tried intermittent fasting and had a lot of success with it. I had temporary success with it. It was very hard for me to keep doing, which was the challenge, like long term. I actually lost quite a bit of weight doing intermittent fasting, but I found it really hard to sustain. You obviously work with a lot of people. What has been your view on intermittent fasting?
Yeah, I mean, it's similar to the Ozempic thing, right?
Yeah.
Because again, and to me, it's just, that's what I suggest. Eat more. Like, don't eat less. Eat more, but more often, not less often.
Yeah.
Because I think your body will go through these starvation periods. And obviously you gotta lose weight. But when you're starting, it's almost like one of the things that bodybuilders do before they go into the show is that you drink a lot of water. And you actually fill yourself with a lot of water. And you will think that that's the opposite that what you want to do, because when you're on stage, you want to be as dry as possible.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is like you drink a little water and then you stop. Your body continues to think that it's going to be water coming in. So they continue to get rid of water through your piss. Like you basically you're going to the bathroom like all the time. Like you can't stop, right? Seriously. And you stop eating. But for the next 3 days, you're going to be pissing a lot.
Yeah.
And you're going to get that dry look, right? But it's the same thing with food. You know what I mean? Your body gets used to whatever routines you're giving it. So if you're not feeding it throughout the day, basically it goes into a mode of more like, it's like a safety mode. It's like, I'm going to save everything because I don't want to die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it starts to basically reserve everything that you have. But then, so basically, in other words, your metabolism starts to slow down. Your fat starts to basically be safe because you need that during the stress times.
Yeah.
And now you're going to feed them again. So it's almost like counterintuitive. So that's my opinion. It works, just like Ozempic would, but I think it's the wrong way of losing weight.
Yeah. I actually agree with you because I know people who are Ozempic, and you're right. Like that's kind of it does kind of make you wonder because your body is not going to be like, oh, well, I'm only going to burn the fat now. It's like, no, I'm going to burn the muscle. I'm going to burn the fat. I'm going to wholesale fire sale this place. Right? Like, so kind of what you're saying is the secret really, really is in what you're eating. That's what I'm really gathering from this. It's what you're eating. And then how does physical activity play in? Yeah.
So the same thing, right? So everything is correlated because again, you're feeding, let's say your muscles when you do exercise. So here's how I usually explain it, right? You're like a car. You could have a big engine, right? If you have a big engine, you're going to consume a lot of gas, right? If you have a small engine, then you don't consume as much. So muscle is that engine. So you want to build more muscle. If you build more muscle, you can feed it more and your body's just going to use it and burn it.
Yeah.
Versus if you have very little muscle and then whatever you put in, it's just not going to be used as much. And so everything just goes into reserve. So the more muscle you have, the more effective or efficient you're going to be at burning calories. So exercise that's where it comes into play because the only way to build muscle is through exercise.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no other way right now, unless they come out with another Ozempic drug. Then they give you a
one
muscle.
shot. Jack
It
like
doesn't
Arnold.
exist right now. Yeah. I'm seeing pictures of some big bulls with muscle. But they inject them in something. I don't know what.
Is this what's coming out of the P-nuff lab next?
Man, if we come up with that stuff, I'll be a billionaire. I'll be giving back a share.
Yeah. So it's all about, it does play in. I get it from that standpoint because it's like if you're already fat, your body is just going to continue to take extra food and just pack it away. You got nothing that's burning that extra food. So there's no way really to get fit without incorporating exercise to keep that engine revved high.
And I will go even farther to say that you need strength exercise, right? Because a lot of people just concentrate on cardio.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm just going to do cardio. And yes, you're burning calories when you're doing cardio, but you're not building a lot of muscle. And so after the cardio is done, you're back to a normal person, to your
Mhm.
small engine.
Yeah.
If you actually incorporate both, then you could burn the calories, but then at the same time, you're building muscle through strength training, because you can only build muscle through strength exercise. You got to overload the muscle in order to do that.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that now, all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Now, after you're done with the gym, you continue to burn calories and continue to be an efficient engine of a burning calorie engine.
Amazing. When you work out, do you do your weight training first and then your cardio, or do you do cardio first and then your weight training?
Weight training first.
Okay.
Always.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. So now we got to go into P-nuff, because obviously you're really into your fitness, you're into your health, you're bodybuilding, and you're realizing there isn't a lot of great snacks that go along with your lifestyle. Was that like the motivation where you're like, okay, I'm a food scientist, I can do this?
Yeah, no, basically, absolutely, man. And the thing is, the older you get, the little smarter bits you get, you learn a little more from here and from there. And then you start to realize, so it's like, man, it's like we could do better than this.
Yeah.
You start saying that. And I love all these companies I work with, never trash them. But one of the things that I think the big corporations were lack of is that they didn't really adapt innovation as quick as they should have. And you see the results today, where a lot of small companies are the ones that are actually innovating, and then the big companies are the ones buying them. And it's a cultural thing, man, because we will come out with all these great, awesome ideas as food scientists and product developers. Hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we do something that is actually better? And the politics and everything that goes on with big corporations basically slows down that whole process and that adaptation. So we will never. I suggested a lot of different products that Nestle basically just sat on it or rejected it because the CEO had to approve it. And it was just like, forget about it. This is never going to happen. So I kind of grew frustrated at all that stuff. And I was like, all these ideas that I have that I want to implement, I can't implement them here. It's like, then I'm going to start my own company. I'm going to implement it myself.
My God.
And that's how I started it, man. That's how I started my company. I gotta be honest, it was sort of like a layoff situation.
Yeah.
That kind of set me back. Oh, I knew I always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
To find that moment,
You need the kick ass.
Do it. Yeah, that's not easy, man.
I needed that too. Don't worry.
You have like a nice income coming your way. Everything's cool. You're in a flow. You know what I mean? You're like going big. You think you're gonna be CEO one day, and all this, and to step away from all that and go back to nothing really, because that's what you're doing when you're starting a new company. You're back to lower than the lower at your company. It's not easy, man. No. It's not easy. So for me, what it took, there was a transition where the division of Power Bar was being sold, and it got sold to another company. And it was during that time that I had some time to think about, because they were doing some layoffs and they were basically putting some packages and offers. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I could continue doing what I'm doing, especially this new company, which is I felt was even a good fit. Yeah. So I was like, nah, this is my time to do something. And that's where I put down, and I'm like, all right, I'm going for it, man. I talked to my parents. I'm religious, so I went to church for a whole week, and I pray a lot, and I say, if this is the right thing to do, let me do it, and let's go for it. And that was the beginning of it all.
My God. Yeah, that's incredible. And obviously read the story, and you had to invest a small fortune of your own money just to get this thing going. Talk to me about that. Like, talk to me about that initial setup. And the costs involved, and like, what was it like to try to pull together? What was it, $375,000 that you put together before you even showed up at Shark Tank? Like, wow!
I'm still spending some of my own. Yeah, and that's one of the things when I like to, and when I get invited for talks and things like that, I always talk about when you start a company. The reality is, if you're new at it, it's very unlikely you're gonna get funding from somebody. It's like, who is this guy, man, saying like he's just awesome, I'm gonna give him money for it. So you got to start with your own. So the only people you could get money is from yourself, or if your family are nice, or you have a rich uncle,
Yep.
then you can reach into his pocket. But I didn't. So I basically had to use everything that I have saved on, and I mean everything that I've saved for over 25 years of working as a product developer. And and you watch every penny because of that reason. It's like I will try 10 times before I say, I can't do this. I'm going to hire someone to do it.
Yeah.
But you always try to do it. And so, I did spend a lot of money on my own. I basically took all everything that I've saved. I haven't touched my 401k yet.
That's good.
Not there. It's backup. But I'm trying not to go there. I'm trying to think that doesn't exist.
Well, if I was going to say in Canada, I think we're all worried that we're even going to get a retirement plan. So who knows? Maybe it is worth spending it.
But you know what? I mean, for entrepreneurs, man, out there that are listening to this, there's a lot of resources out there, man, that I found out too. There's a lot of, at least here in the US, for instance, the government has programs that you could apply and get a grant for $20,000 or $10,000 here or $5,000 there. I was doing all that kind of stuff, man. I was applying for like business plan innovations at Rutgers, and I made $20,000 there. Then I would apply for a TikTok thing, and I made another $5,000. I mean, all this little money, man, helps, especially when you're starting up.
Yeah, it's just knowing where to go or knowing that it exists, right? Because most entrepreneurs they don't even know what resources are available to them, right?
Yeah. That is true. That's true. I was lucky to have found an organization called SCORE. I don't know if that exists in Canada too, but
I've never
here in the US.
Yeah.
It's SCORE.org for anybody who's trying to get into entrepreneurship. It's an organization that everything's free. And basically, it consists of a bunch of mentors in every area of running a business.
Wow.
And what they are is usually retirees, someone that might have been a CFO for a manufacturing company now is lending his time to just help out somebody else. So it's a great resource, free. They have seminars all the time. So I hooked up with them, and I got a mentor in the manufacturing area and financial area, which is my weakest. And so he helped me a lot. And like, I don't know if you mentioned, but I have my own manufacturing facility now. So it was because of this mentorship that I was able to do that.
Wow.
So,
wow. That's incredible, man. Like, so walk me into it. You had, and if I remember correctly, you had to start your own manufacturing facility because you used peanuts, and that didn't work out in like the grand scheme of manufacturing food.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. It's like I heard different podcasts, and a lot of entrepreneurs, they will give you this advice of avoid these barriers. If there's a huge barrier, especially in manufacturing, like avoid that. You don't go there, man. Just don't get silly.
Yeah.
And I took it the other way, man. I was like, don't tell me what to do, guys. When I hit back, I'm like, well, they're probably right. But at the same time, what we did is because I knew there was going to be more of a challenge to create a product on a process that I'm looking for that had peanuts because of the allergy and cross-contamination issue, right? So companies don't want to make your product in the same line that they're making in other products that don't have peanut.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have to label that in every other product, and there's the risk of potential cross-contamination, and that could be a problem. So it was extremely hard for me to find a place. And I started it down in the Midwest. I launched, and then I got kicked out soon after. So I went down South Florida to another startup company. After 6 months, he kicked me out. Then I came up all the way up here north, and I decided with my brothers that I was like, man, I need to buy. I can't continue doing this. I need to like get my own manufacturing facility, my own equipment. And so I talked to my brothers, and they helped me out on getting the equipment. It was awesome. And so I was able to get it. But that was just the beginning of just another challenge. Because now I'm manufacturing, brand owner, I'm like CEO, I'm like I'm financial officer, and marketing and sales. I'm like, it got to be a lot.
There's not enough hours in a day.
Yeah. I don't know. And just the manufacturing is a business on its own. So it was tough. It was very tough. And that's one of my lessons learned is that you gotta, first of all, you gotta figure it out what you're good at, what you should spend most of your time on. Because what I was doing is just learning so much about manufacturing that I basically left aside sales and marketing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I'm starting to build this awesome manufacturing facility, but I'm not selling anything. So I'm like, wait, that doesn't work. You're like, it can't be one or the others. Like, I got to sell so I can have a reason for having a manufacturing facility.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get into that realization later.
My gosh.
It wasn't if you build it, it will come.
No.
You gotta.
That's great. That's great. Most businesses forget that they will not come.
No. So that has been my biggest challenge, man, the manufacturing piece. And it continues to be imperfect. Yeah. We actually just moved to another facility. This is the 5th time. I've moved 5 times.
Oh my God.
In 9 years.
Oh my gosh. Are you done? Are you done moving?
Well, hopefully, man. Hopefully.
We're moving to a new house at the end of the week, and I'm already like, I don't want to do it.
Well, if I have another company, it'd probably be a manufacturing moving company.
Yeah, so. No kidding. Okay, just keep tagging it on. You're clearly just like expanding into new sectors, so why not? What was it like? Obviously, you understood food production. You understood it. What was it like, though, starting your own manufacturing facility? Because I feel like you said, like there had to have been a lot of things that you had to learn. And it is like starting a whole nother organization or new business. Did it feel like something that you already knew enough about that you could do it? Or was it literally like a ground up, I had to figure it out?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely did not know everything that it took to do. I thought I did because I have been around manufacturing plants like all my career. I mean, I probably visited over 50, 60 manufacturing plants, and I was project manager, so I knew all about equipment and management and all that stuff. But having your own manufacturing facility and starting it from the ground is just completely different.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea, or I had to ask my brother for a lot of help. He's an engineer in terms of just even setting up the machines right and the right electric needs and gas and water, and then dealing with the FDA and all the requirements. I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know how intricate it was, and quality certifications that you gotta have, and then dealing with labor.
Yeah,
that was not part of HR. Will just hire for me. It's like I have people that work with me, but HR was the ones in charge of that stuff. Now it's like you're dealing with labor, the labor laws, and wages, and scheduling, and all this stuff. I'm like, man, that was another. This is a job in itself, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
But you did it, right? And there's so many people who would not have been able to do it. And so that's why I just want to chat with you about it, because I've talked with so many people who say, don't do something you don't understand. Don't do something that you're not already an expert in, right? But I've seen so many people just like you take that leap, do something that's close, but there's still a lot to learn and still have incredible success. What would you say has made this successful for you? Because I think there's a lot of people who wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah, man. Thank you for that, though. But I mean, I have a lot of weaknesses, but I think my strengths is, and it all comes from sports, man. I always go back to sports because as a kid, I used to be in a swim team, and then I talked to you. We talked about bodybuilding, and we didn't talk about. I used to do marathons and things like that. But one of the things that sports taught me, man, is that when you first jump into a pool, you don't know how to swim, right? You don't know how to swim, so you could put a roadblock right there and say, man, I'm never gonna know how to swim or even become an Olympic medalist. Like that seems so far away.
Yeah.
But if you jump in the pool and you do the first paddleboard, like your first swim and whatever, you start swimming, all of a sudden you start getting the groove. All of a sudden you start like figuring things out, and then you start paying more attention to details. Next thing you know, you're in the team, and then next thing you know, you might be doing a time for Olympic medaling. And what he told me is like, no, you just got to dive into it. Don't put your barrier right at the front saying, oh man, that seems so difficult. Forget about it. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
Just inch it in. Start with something and just try to figure that out. Once you figure that out, inch in a little more and try to figure the next thing out. And then the next thing, then next. And all of a sudden, like you're swimming. You know what I mean? All of a sudden you're swimming and you feel like, okay, I'm swimming. I'm not fast, but I'm swimming. And then you start to like get faster and faster. And I think I kind of follow that with everything that I do in a way. It's like, as hard as it seems, I'm just going to jump into it. If I feel it's right, I'm just jumping into it. I'll figure it out when I'm there.
Yeah, I love that. And no entrepreneur ever started knowing the whole path or the whole picture. Like you said, sometimes you just got to have that leap of faith. You got to trust in God and take the jump, right? I know I was one of those people. You're clearly one of those people. I don't think any of us have the full path. Like you couldn't have seen the Shark Tank win, right? When you started this. But because you started it, that opportunity presented itself and you won. Right? Like you can't see what's coming. And that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned as an entrepreneur. You can't see what's coming. You make all the plans in the world. You cannot see what's coming. But I bet you if you stick in it, what's coming is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's never a straight line, right?
No.
Like you have that vision, where you want to go, and you think this is the path, and then you realize this is the path, right? But as long as you have your vision, and even that target could move. It's a moving target.
Yeah.
We pivoted so many times with so many things. When we first started P-nuff, there was not a peanut puff product out there.
Wow.
So for me, peanut puff was just like perfect. This is going to attract a lot of customers because it's new. Something very innovative. And it did. It was at the time.
Yeah.
But things changed very quickly. After 5 years, there was like 5 or 6 or 7 other companies doing the same thing. And so it's like, okay, what do I have to do now to stand out? And one of the last things that we did is like, okay, why don't we play more in the protein now? Because now people are like really understanding more about protein and realizing that they want to have more protein in their snacks and desserts and things that taste good. So it's like, all right, let's start pivoting that way.
Yeah.
So even though we started as a peanut puff, now we're a protein puff.
Amazing.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's the same, really pretty much the same product, but we're kind of changing as we go.
Yes. You're adapting. You're adapting as the whole world is finally catching up to its important. This show, I wanted to really focus in on you, your journey, all that, but it wouldn't be complete if we did not talk a little bit about your Shark Tank experience. And I wanted to just chat with you about it because you came out there like on fire. You were incredible. And one of the things that came to me when I saw that was, holy shit, that dude is brave as they come, man. Like you had it all figured out. You came out there confident, brave, and yet inside you must have just been like, oh God, oh God, oh God. and I just had to ask you, dude, like, how did you prepare for Shark Tank? How did you come out there like you did?
Yeah, no, man, I can tell you, man, it was in 2020, so
COVID.
There was full COVID going on around, right? So if anyone's watches the show, you'll see that one of the things that I do is like I kind of like rip off this lab coat and I'm basically topless, and I'm like, wait, so I gotta get in shape for this because obviously I keep in good shape all year round, but not like shredded.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the biggest challenges because I couldn't go to a gym.
Wow. Yeah.
So everything was closed. COVID, right? Closed every gym. So I'm like, I got to come up with some routine here at home. And I did. I came out with this awesome routine and I got in good shape for the show. I had like a month to do it. And then once we got into one of the things that they had to do was move the studio from LA to Las Vegas because LA was shut down completely.
Okay.
And they were actually thinking about canceling the whole year. But they found a location in Las Vegas and they figured we can move the whole studio to Las Vegas. And now we're going to have people come into Las Vegas. So we went in there, but we had to isolate for, I think it was 10 days.
Oh, wow.
We were inside a room.
Oh, no.
For 10 days. We couldn't leave the room, man.
Oh, man.
They were like, if you leave the room, you're out. So like,
wow.
I'm like, okay, we're gonna stay in this room for 10 days. So can you imagine, right?
No, I can't.
Being inside for 10 days.
I would lose my mind. I don't know how you do it.
And here's the worst part, right? So they had like, what am I gonna eat? Right?
Yeah.
I knew this going in. So I can't just eat French fries and hamburger, right? Like I gotta like keep my diet well and everything else with protein, right? So I loaded a suitcase, man, with
Wow.
like tuna cans, man. I made like 20 pounds of grilled chickens, which I put them in Ziploc bags,
Yeah.
and I asked them for ice every day so I could put it in there. So I basically built up a whole 10 days full of meals, man.
Wow. I don't think the mini fridge is that big, dude.
No, dude, I tell you, I asked them for, so it's funny things because I couldn't leave the room. So I had to ask them. I called them and said, hey, can you get me some ice? Because I got some stuff I put in ice. And they bring me like one of those little containers. So I was like, yeah, no. Like, I need like a can, like a big garbage can full of ice.
Yeah.
And they brought me a huge freaking can full of ice. I was like, right, and you do this every day for the next 10 days.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And they did, man. I swear to God, this is true. So I was trying to do pull-ups. So I was trying to find little edges in the room where I could do pull-ups.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So, but what it did for me though, man, it's like those 10 days were actually really good for me because I was focused. There was no distraction.
Yeah.
I could completely focus on the Shark Tank thing. And so I basically practiced a lot of my pitch. I kind of went through all the questions that I've seen on previous shows that they try to ask and try to come up with a list of good answers, a negotiation chart that I made. It's like, okay, if he offers me this much, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
They're all in my head. All the numbers were in my head. Like, I didn't want to start like, oh, wait, hold on. Give me a second. Let me pull out my calculator here and see what you're trying to offer me. So I try to memorize every scenario to see, what kind of deal I will take or not. So the whole 10 days, man, were really good for me. It helped me prepare a lot, but it was very intense, man. From morning till night. That's all I basically. That's all I did.
Yeah,
that's all I did. Just work and preparing for it.
It showed, man. It showed. You absolutely killed that. And actually, when I was watching it, and you were negotiating with Mark Cuban, I'm listening. I'm thinking, holy shit, the balls on this guy. Like he's like, no, this is what I want. I was like, dude, good for you. Like that's incredible because the pressure you must be feeling in that moment, the cooker that is that room must be unbelievable.
Bro, trust me, man. Part of me was thinking like, shit, I'm gonna f this up.
Yeah, wow.
And even the other sharks, I don't know if they showed this part, man. But as we were going back and forth, because it went for a little bit, and some of the other sharks were like, "Are you crazy?" They started telling me, "You crazy?" It's like, the deal. Yeah. It's like I never seen Mark so excited. It's like, take the deal. Yeah. And I was like, well, so yeah. I mean, there was a little bit of pressure there. That
it was pretty incredible. I think you did great. I think it was amazing. And actually, if I remember correctly, at the time you were valuing the company at $3 million at the time. Yeah. And I did some Googling, try to figure out where you were at. And according to all the numbers I could find today, you're worth well over $4 million. So I would say you did incredible. They were wrong with their valuation.
Yeah, the whole valuation thing, man, it wasn't even hard for me to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like why should I value my company now versus what I'm willing to take? Because there's just so many factors. And they tell you, well, is it 2 times or 3 times, whatever, your sales. And like, it's not all. There's so many other factors. And the reality is at that time, when I went on Shark Tank, I didn't really have tons of distribution. I had a lot of local independent store distribution, but I wasn't in like, nationwide Whole Foods or Wegmans or anything like that. So it was kind of hard for me to like play that game. I was like, hey, we're doing all this amount of sales and everything else. And my job was more to show him the potential. The potential, what could be. Yeah. And that's kind of how I evaluated the company. It's like, well, this is the potential this company has.
Yeah. Yeah.
Based on everything that I'm done and the consumer and the trends and everything that is happening. And I think Mark was able to see that. And that's why I was happy to actually he gave me more money because I felt like he probably felt like, this dude is going to need more than what he's asking for.
Well, I think you nailed it because Mark's wife had bought him P-nuff and he loved it. And that was the tipping point, right? I don't think any of the other sharks had tried it, but not only had he tried it, he chowed the whole bag, right? Like that was the sell. And that was incredible. I was like, oh, there you go, right? The proof is in the pudding.
Like I said, man, God has been on my side, man. And that one, he did that one, man.
Think about it. What are the odds, right? What are the odds at that time? Like you said, with the lack of distribution, you were only in a handful of stores, whatever, that a bag of P-nuff would have ended up in Mark Cuban's cupboard, right? Definitely some divine intervention.
That was it. It's funny because after the show was over, I saw Mark in the back.
Yeah.
And obviously we had to like talk from here to there because of the corporate thing. But he was like, I can't wait to tell my wife. It was like that I just invested in P-nuff. It's like she's got me so happy. I was like, oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, incredible. And talk to me. What happens after? I think that's like the question that everybody who watches Shark Tank is like, okay, but then what happens? So walk us through what happens after that.
Well, the immediate thing that happens afterwards is that, man, there's obviously, this is an entertaining show, right? So there's got to be a lot of film going on even afterwards.
Sure.
So they're trying to capture your emotions and what happened. So it doesn't end after you walk off the stage. When you walk off the stage, now you're meeting with like a lot of the producers and you're doing a couple more takes. But one of the things that I thought was interesting is that they take you to see also a psychologist. So you go in the back and you enter a room and they close the door and you just sit down with this psychologist, man. And this guy is basically saying, hey, how are you feeling, man? Are you all right?
Wow.
Which I'm like, yeah, man, I'm happy as shit. I was like, yeah, did everything go well? It's like, are you mentally fine? Like, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm looking good, dude.
Oh man.
So I didn't spend that much time with him because I was just like I just want to go to the hotel, tell my family that I made a deal with Mark, and I just like smile and jump, man, because I felt so happy, man.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, that's probably one of the happiest moments I've ever been. That
the
I can't
emotion
remember.
on your face was palpable when you walked through those doors, right? I'm like, holy cow! Like, I can't imagine what he must be feeling right now.
I said like because after I took that my coat off, I didn't have a shirt, so I told the producers like, I don't want to continue the whole conversation without a shirt, man. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I was like, and they're like, well, you could put your shirt on if you want. Back on. I was like, okay, so let me do that, right?
Yeah.
So you'll notice that
it was like magic. Right? You weren't wearing a shirt and then you had a shirt back on. Yeah.
Yeah, then I put the shirt back on. But I was like, I had thought this before. I was like, if I get a deal, man, I said, I'm going to rip the shirt off. I'm going to do it. And after I got the deal, I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. I was like,
oh, goodness. Yeah.
Well, when I walk out, you see, right? Yeah. I have like the shirt all ripped. And I was like, and yeah, man, I should have saved that shirt, man.
I framed it, hung it up on the wall. It's
no, man. I threw it out. I threw it out in the garbage. Like, man, I should have saved it.
Yeah. So talk to me. Like, obviously, you got what, $400,000 from that deal?
Yeah.
What happened next? How were you able to use that money to really make P-nuff take off?
Yeah. So the money is given to us on a quarterly basis. Okay. So we received it over a period of the whole year. It's Mark's company, man. They're smart with how they do this thing because they want to make sure that you're not just using the money to buy yourself a Mercedes-Benz or something. And so they want to know very in detail. I had to provide how am I going to use the first quarter? How am I going to use the first initial $100,000? And I had to put exactly what we were doing. So it helped me also think more about, okay, what are the best usage of this money? And like I told them during the pitch, during the episode, that I needed help with marketing, sales, and manufacturing. So a lot of it, that's where everything went to, especially manufacturing, because at that time we had the equipment, but we didn't have a facility. So we were having a lot of issues with the location where we were. So we wanted to have a better facility where we can feel better about the quality of the product and even make it a bigger business. So a lot of it went into that. The other part that went into it was for rebranding. We did a rebranding of the bag. We hired some marketing people and some sales people to help us out. So very basic stuff.
Yeah.
Very basic.
Well, 400 grand doesn't go very far. That's the
I know.
Especially not when you got that kind of costs. That's it's nothing really.
Absolutely. And you're 100% right. And that's why I was like, nothing's changed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's still like penny pinching every little thing, you know, because this 400,000 is not going to take me very far.
No.
Like I can't go out and just start like going crazy. But man, I wouldn't be here without it. That's
Sure.
the reality. It meant everything. And Mark Cuban, one of the big things, other than the money, that has helped us a lot is just his team, like working with Q.
Yeah.
He's helped us so much on the area of marketing. The guy's a guru.
He's incredible.
Yeah. And then Mark Cuban himself, even though we don't have like weekly meetings with him, whenever we have big decisions to make or we're trying to go in a different direction or something, he always have his input into it, which we have taken to heart. A lot of his input is some of the things that we've done, which was made us successful. So just having him in the back and having his name when we go to a retailer and we say, yeah, we're part of Mark Cuban Company, it gives you a lot of credibility already.
Yes.
And it helps you get into your left foot into the door. Now we continue to work to get the other foot in and continue, but just his name has done marvels for us.
He seems, obviously I don't know Mark Cuban, but he seems like a really amazing individual. What has it been like to know him and to work with him?
Yeah, I mean, so when we made the deal, there was a disaster that happened in my home country, Honduras. There was a hurricane, big hurricane. Man, that was one of the first communications with him. It was like he'd asking me, hey, it's like, I'd like to donate for the cause over there in Honduras.
Wow.
Like, can you recommend a good organization that I can talk to? That was the first thing.
Wow.
I was like, man, this guy's good.
Yeah.
This is a good guy. I think, the guy that you get, but at the same time, it's like you get what you ask for in a way. So if you don't ask anything, he won't give you anything.
Sure.
Which going in, I think a lot of people think that like, oh, you're set. You know what I mean? Like what you have to do is sit back and these guys are going to basically take you to Target or Costco or introduce you to the other guy and then you're set. You basically have to just be the face of the company. And it's nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically business as usual, except that now you have maybe somebody here that, you can ask specific questions to help you out with. So I'm still learning how to get the most out of Mark.
I'm still figuring it out.
I'm still figuring it out. Like, you know what I mean? It takes time to really learn everything. And you got to get his trust. He's not going to go and talk about a company he just acquired. He doesn't know anything about me.
Sure.
Right? He can't go on and start publicly saying all these things. And then next thing you know, I'm doing something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it takes time to really get that trust going. And some of our last communications, I feel like he's on board now with everything we're doing. So I think I'm really looking forward to what's next.
Yeah.
Because I think he's going to be even more involved. And I think we're heading in a good direction. Yeah.
You have an absolutely incredible entrepreneurial story, Dr. Juan. It was incredible to have you on the show. And I really appreciate your time and coming on and chatting with us and telling me your story because it's amazing. And we're all struggling with health stuff. So super cool. We got to go there. Before we end today's show, I want to spend some time talking about P-nuff. Tell us about it. Tell us about the product. What is it? Where do we get it? And it sounds amazing. And I think I need to just stock my whole cupboard with it when I can find it. I'm in Canada. I don't think I've ever seen it on the shelves here yet, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time.
No, in Alberta, maybe in the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Amazing.
No, the reality is we're only mostly in the East Coast, Northeast.
Okay.
That's where we are located. So we're taking that approach of like, let's go local, and then let's expand from here. Earlier on, we made the mistake of just saying, let's go national. And man, that was a lessons learned. We weren't ready to go national.
Gotcha.
We spent a lot of money and we couldn't pay attention to the details that are required. And we didn't have that much of an experience as to how to launch a product in every state. So that was a little tough. So now it's like, no, you know what, let's sit back. Let's work the area that we're in where we can understand, learn, and then kind of utilize what we learn and expand. But P-nuff, man, about the product, right? It's a protein puff.
Yeah.
It's not a peanut puff. It's a protein puff. And, you know, what's cool about it, man, is that the way I design it, as a scientist, I designed the product. So I didn't go to a third party to try and tell them, hey, I need a bar that, you know, has this much protein or whatever. Instead, it's like I had a lot of experience in working with athletes and a lot of experience in working with non-athletes as part of my whole 20 years of working with snacks. And so I knew a lot about snacks and I knew a lot about people's requirements, right? And people's perception of what they need. And so my first idea was just to come up with something that had the nutrition that will be good for someone that was active, but not an athlete. So basically someone like you, someone like me, that we're not professionals in any way, but we do have the same requirements because we are playing with our kids, because we're going for a walk or a run or going to the gym. And so my first idea is like, okay, I got to come up with some kind of snack that tastes good, number one, but also have some positive nutrition, especially for someone that's active. So you had to have protein. So you had to be low carb. You had to have a high fiber. And basically, it had to be clean ingredients, no junk, right? Those kind of like the pillars. But the cool thing that a lot of people don't know about, because you read a protein puff, it's just a protein. It's a protein product. We made it a plant-based protein. But what's cool about it is that the way I did is I combined 3 different proteins. And I did that because I knew scientifically, and from all the studies that I've done, that plant proteins are not complete proteins.
Oh, okay.
So I needed to combine different proteins so as to make it complete, and not only complete, but also to make it a high level quality complete protein. And it's a message that we still haven't been able to really get out there, because it's complicated for people to even understand that. Just to say that it's protein right now is good enough.
Yes.
But it's actually a better protein.
It's better.
A garbanzo protein or a fava bean protein or pea protein.
Yeah.
This is the complete whole thing. And the other thing on the carbs, because a lot of people say, well, it's low carb, but it's not like considered a low carb product. And it says it's not a low carb product, but it's a low glycemic carb product. And a low glycemic carb product, it basically is the same as a low carb product, but even better, because now you get the benefits of the sustained energy that you get from the slow digested carbohydrates, and you don't get the excess calories basically not being used by your body. So it's a pretty cool product, man. There's a lot of science behind it.
Amazing.
That we'll kind of try to explain it little by little, but we learned that it's too much for the consumer to know all this stuff.
Well, I'm going to make you a promise. The moment I can find it on a shelf here, I will be buying some, because actually I was looking at your flavors and I really want to try the cheddar jalapeno. So the moment I can find it, man, I'm going to go get it. And I can't wait, because honestly, I love chips. But if I can eat something that satisfies that crunch, that need for me, that's also not crap for my body, I think it might be a huge win. So you have friends here in Alberta who can't wait.
Awesome, man. I think you're gonna like that one, man. It's turning into being our number one flavor.
Oh man, I love cheddar and I love jalapeno. You throw those things together, we're good. Dr. Salinas, it's been an honor. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your journey. It's incredible, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thanks, Kelly, man. I really appreciate this, man.
Amazing.
It's a pleasure talking to you, bro.
Yeah, me too. Until next time, this has been episode 274 of the Business Development Podcast, and we will catch you on the flip side.
This has been the Business Development Podcast with Kelly Kennedy. Kelly has 15 years in sales and business development experience within the Alberta oil and gas industry and founded his own business development firm in 2020. His passion and his specialization is in customer relationship generation and business development. The show is brought to you by Capital Business Development, your business development specialists. For more, we invite you to the website at www.capitalbd.ca. See you next time on the Business Development Podcast.
Hey, rock stars. If you've been on the entrepreneurship journey for a while, you know this feeling. In all the interviews, in all the coaching calls, one truth kept coming up over and over again. Leadership is lonely. Business development is lonely. And entrepreneurship is lonely. You can't just talk to anyone about it. That's why I created the Catalyst Club, a private, values-driven community where you can speak the truth, be your authentic self, and connect with people who understand what you're going through and can actually help. We made it private so you feel safe. We made it affordable so no one gets left out. And we built it on values that matter, like showing up, sharing knowledge, and choosing growth over ego. Inside, you'll find coffee with rock stars for real talk and connection, unplugged Q&A for live coaching and clarity, and Catalyst sessions with world-class experts who light a fire under your next move. We're building the most supportive business community on the internet, and we want you to help us do it. Join us today at kellykennedyofficial.com. We're just getting started.